Hi, I'm Marcia Sloane and Marcy. Thanks for inviting me on Cello Nation for playing with drones. I recorded the cello drones for tuning and improvisation CD a number of years back to have drones with a timbre I wanted to listen to and match my cello sound to. For me, the value of playing with a drone is that what I'm listening to changes from one sound in the room, the sound of my cello, to a relationship between sounds, the drone and my cello. I feel the resonance in the room, and it doesn't seem as much like I'm playing the sound as I'm listening to the sound. So, along with having a tuning reference, playing with a drone makes me feel more supported in my playing, and I think less about the notes on the page and more about the overall sound. And playing in relationship is what we do when we play with other people. So playing with a drone is good practice for playing with others. I just played the opening phrase from Eric Satie's Gymnopody number 1. If you notice that the phrase felt a bit unresolved, it may be your inner pitch sense telling you that the phrase didn't end on the tonic of the scale. We all have an inner pitch sense, and we may not always trust it or feel in touch with it, but it's what guides our playing, and playing with a drone can strengthen that inner pitch sense. And singing is a way in to our inner pitch sense, and it's a stepping stone to playing in tune. For our purposes, it's not about having a beautiful sounding voice, but simply being in tune, recognizing pitch, and being able to reproduce it. So let's wake up our inner pitch sense, singing a G major scale. Then we'll play the G scale on our instruments. And I'll play a G on my cello as our reference pitch. Do what's comfortable for your voice. Keep it soft so you hear the drone. You can hum or sing on ah or on any syllable. I'll conduct each note with my body, and we'll sing one octave, just the ascent. Anticipate where the half steps of the scale are, and notice how each pitch feels in your body in relationship with the drone. Do you find your body vibrating more on some pitches than on others? I hope this range is comfortable for you. Find our G here. So when we sing a scale, we're creating an inner pitch map for tuning on our instruments. So now let's play the G major scale on our instruments. I'll put the scale up on the screen. Okay, you can see that. Let's play in first position, and let's play an octave and a half up to the D of the second octave, and then come back down. So again, keep it soft so we can stay together, and Notice which notes of the scale create tension with the drone, create more vibrations in the room, and which notes feel more in sync with the drone. Things feel like they calm down a bit. So we have, how about one, two, ready, go. Now let's play this opening phrase from Gymnopedy that I played earlier. All the scale tones of G major are in the phrase except the second note A. So we're just playing the notes of the scale out of order. We can think of it that way. I'm playing in first position and separate bows. So there's a rest on the first beat, something like 1, 3, 1, ready, go, You might notice that in this phrase, the tonic G barely shows up. There's one G in the last beat of the third bar, but it's like a passing tone. It's taking us to the D on the downbeat in the fourth bar. So we barely hear the tonic, and the phrase ends on the B, the third note of the scale, which creates a floating, unresolved feeling characteristic of Satie's music. Now let's turn the page over here to this, the same phrase in a number of different scales. And we can see how the same finger pattern carries over in different keys, on different strings, and in different positions. The notes of a melody will change according to the key the melody's in, but the intervals created by those notes do not change. And our fingering shows us the interval. We're more familiar detecting half and whole steps, but what about larger intervals? This line begins first finger to fourth finger, and in the non-extended hand shape, that's a minor third on any string in any position. And then after the fourth note of the melody drops from first finger on A to third finger on D, and that finger pattern, first finger down on upper string down to the third on the lower neighbor, is a perfect fourth. And looking down this page, you can see that no matter what key we're in, the same fingering works. This is because we're not using any open strings. Fingerings certainly change between keys if we use open strings, but if we don't use open strings, a pattern that stays in one position can be used in many keys to play the same phrase. So let's go down the page. Let's go to the second one now. That's kind of more obvious. It's also in first position and it's just over a string, so you wouldn't, not so surprising that the fingers stay the same. 1, 2, 3, 1. And you might notice it's very dissonant note, that third finger on the G string, right after we drop off the D string, our perfect fourth. And there's the tonic. And that's the third. Let's try it on the D string. So a third line, we're in second position now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, rest. And I didn't write in fingerings for the last 3 bars because at that point we do have to shift, and depending upon what key we're in, we'll make different kinds of decisions. Sometimes in C it was an open string, and on the G drone it was an open string note, but D drone we just can go back to first position for that first finger. So fingers change there, but those first 3 bars are identical finger wise. Let's go now to the E flat drone, and that's in third position. Find my drone here. So you can find your G first note with your harmonic if you want. And if you're not used to playing in 3 flats, then the fact that you've already been playing this little melody in keys you know makes us braver to go on to this perhaps less familiar key. We know the pattern, so let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 1. Good, and our last one, F major, fourth position. So here's our F drone. Find your A. 1, 2, 3, 1. My wolf is talking to me here, my F naturals. So maybe it's a little challenging for you as well, your wolf tones. Okay, I think I'm done sharing the screen here. me find my okay. So our notation system is good at indicating pitch with black dots on the staff. But as we begin to think about how each finger, it's not only playing a note, but it's a stepping stone to the next note. And we can start to think about what is the interval between these two notes. And as intervals get larger, we don't always know what they are. Major sixth, major seventh. But the finger patterns can help us identify the interval, and playing that interval with a drone helps tune it, especially when we get into keys that we're not as familiar with. So I hope that when you play first to fourth finger in non-extended position on the same string, 1 to 4, you think minor third. And when you play a first finger on a higher string down to third on a lower string, you think, aha, perfect fourth. So you can start to stock your treasure chest with the finger patterns that define all the intervals. We're listening to cello drones for tuning improvisation that you can find on YouTube or Spotify. And we've been playing from my book, 28 Great Melodies to Play with the Drones. Comes in treble, bass, and viola clefs, available at navarrorivermusic.com. And I want to thank you for having me, and we'll end with a little more music as a reminder that drones invite improvisation. Whatever written music you may be playing, put on the drone of that key and use a beginning phrase of the melody in free rhythm. Play it backwards, repeat notes, see where the drone and the scale and melody take you.